What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be walking you through this look step by step. This is kind of like a little mashup. It can be an everyday look. It can be a cool toned look. You can use this during the fall. You can do this for date night because it's kind of like a nice soft smoky look, but it's just kind of like one of those universal looks that you can wear day or night depending on your mood. You can swap in the lashes, swap out the lip. You can smoke this up even more, tone it down, whatever you want. So this is the look that I had on in my last month's favorites video, and I got a lot of requests for it. It's also, I think this was the look that I wore in my Ulta haul. So I decided to walk you through it step by step because you guys had so many requests for it. It's very, very easy to do. So yeah, I'm gonna walk you through it. I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe and let's get started. I'm gonna be using the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. This is one of my favorite moisturizers. I have it just sitting out here. It's just like a nice thick cream, so I'm gonna grab just a little bit of it and start on my nose and my chin because that's where I am the driest right now, like right in here, and then I'll go everywhere else on my face. Get my cheeks, my neck. Really quick, I've been showing this mug on Instagram and so many of you guys have asked where I got it. 99% of the time, let me tell you, it is just from Amazon, but it's a Fox Books mug, like from You've Got Mail. This gave me all the fall feels, made me feel so warm and fuzzy inside. So I'll link it down below. For primer, I'm going to be using the Jason Wu It's So Soft face primer. I used this yesterday on camera for the first time in my last makeup tutorial, and I was pleasantly surprised. So it comes out in this like thick mousse texture, and it kind of just like fills in the pores. Like, look at that, just one swipe. I feel like my pores just disappeared. And it also has this tint, so you're getting like, I don't want to say coverage because it's not covering, but it almost neutralizes like the pinkness and the redness in the skin, and it's very unique. Then I'm gonna go in with foundation. I really wanted to use my Catrice foundation that has become like my favorite, especially when I used it with this. It was like amazing and magical. But I want to use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. They just sent this over with their powder, so I kind of want to use these together and see how they look. Plus, I'm very curious how that face primer reacts with different foundations. I haven't used this one in a while, but I'm excited. Plus, on top of all of that, I have on a self tan, so this is going to help kind of bring the warmth of my body up onto my face. So this is the Y365 shade, which is like my perfect self-tan shade. It's a little bit more yellow than I normally go with foundations because when I use a self-tan, I'm just like naturally more yellow from that. So I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics number 7 brush. It's been so long since I've used this foundation. This used to be like the jam. Everybody used to use this foundation. It was like one of the first products that used the words HD in their advertising for makeup and stuff like that. They were, I think, at least in my recollection, they were like the first company to come out with like a translucent powder. The HD powder, it was like the jam. It's what everybody used. So this is very nostalgic. I don't know how much it is now, but I remember back in the day it was like $40, which that's still a lot of money for a foundation, but especially 10 years ago, that's like, and I don't even know if it was 10 years ago, at least 7 years ago, that was like a big deal. I remember too, the first time I ever got my makeup done was at Sephora, because at the time, if you spent $50, you could get your makeup done for free. So I bought the Laguna bronzer. My first ever like big makeup product that I ever bought was the Urban Decay Naked palette, but this was, I think the second was the Laguna bronzer from NARS. I didn't have enough money for the 50s. I like got something for someone else and they paid me back so I could get my makeup done for like one of my friend's birthday parties or whatever. So I got my makeup done and she used this foundation on me, which I never used foundation at the time. So I was just so intrigued that she put this all over my face, and it looked incredible all night long too. Like, she did such a good job on my face makeup. It definitely gives a more medium coverage. It's not super full. Like the Catrice foundation that I've been using is definitely a fuller coverage than this. I'm gonna try the shade 31.5 in the HD concealer. I don't remember what shade I would normally use. I think 30. This seems a little light. We'll try it. Sometimes I feel like makeup products don't go in chronological order as far as light to dark with their numbers. But maybe I wasn't shade 30, I don't know. This used to be like my favorite concealer, and it's still like as I'm using it, this is really good. But I think ever since I got that Pat McGrath concealer, that's just always been my go-to. And then I haven't really run out of it, so I just haven't used this in a minute. Okay, I'm loving that. And now I'm gonna use the Makeup Forever powder. I really want to use the Jason Wu one because that was like a universal I could use underneath my eyes and set my face. But I really want to try this, especially because I did all Makeup Forever on the face already. I wasn't planning to do that when I sat down, but it was just sitting here and I was like, you know what, let me just try it all together. So this is in the color Vanilla. So I do believe that this is going to be a little bit brightening on my skin. So we will see how this looks. If it is a little bit too light, then I'll grab that Jason Wu powder because that was like perfect. Grab a brush. This is a Sigma F35. And then I'm gonna set right here, in between my eyebrows and my forehead. And then I'm going to lightly set underneath my eyes. It's one thing about the Laura Mercier powder is it's amazing for setting the oiliness on my face and making sure that I'm matte in those areas, but it's honestly, it's just a little bit too thick for my under eye area. So this is pretty good. I still think I like the Jason Wu one the best, honestly. It seems a little bit thinner in consistency while also getting the job done of setting everywhere else. That is really nice. I like using products together that are like meant to be used together. I'm going to use this little trio from Anastasia. I didn't plan on it and I hope that this is still available, but I haven't used it yet. It's this little trio here. It's got a blush, a highlighter, and a bronzer. I'm going to try this bronzer today. Looks like this. I have it in Italian Summer, so we'll see how this looks on my face. Oh, that looks pigmented. I'm gonna go in and bronze. Try to keep my arm down so you can't see my armpit. Okay, this is really nice. Here on the cheeks. It's kind of tricky to blend actually. Normally with bronzers, if I go in and I apply it and there's a lot on the brush or whatever, it'll like disperse itself out. But this, it's been making like a line that I have to like go over and blend out, which is very strange. And I've been trying out like a bunch of different bronzers lately, so this is definitely standing out that it's doing that, which is weird. For blush today, I think I want to try this one from Milani. It's in the color Merlot Moment. Looks like a nice deep rich berry color. So I'm gonna grab this on my F40 and stipple it on my cheek. A little bit more pinky than I normally do, but I kind of like it. I think it's going. I think it's gonna go really nicely with the eye look too. For highlighter, I'm gonna use the one that's in here and see how this goes. Just pick this up here and pop this on the cheekbones. You know, I gotta say, like, Anastasia used to have it going on. This just isn't really doing it for me. I feel like the formulas are a little dry. Like that went on really, really dry on my cheekbone and not as buttery as I would like a highlighter formula to be. And same with that bronzer. It was like really tricky to blend out. I feel like the color is pretty, but since it wasn't so easy to use, I feel like, I don't know, I probably am not gonna really grab towards this palette very much. I like that it's not like too beaming of a highlight shade. It's a nice, soft, subtle color. It's a nice undertone. It's not too gold, not too silvery. But yeah, overall the formulas are just kind of blah. I'm gonna move on to brows. Rare Beauty sent over these new eyebrow powders. So I have the color light brown, and then they also sent me taupe, which actually doesn't look too light. Looks like it's gonna be kind of nice. I'm gonna try to actually just use a powder and see what happens. I have a feeling though that I'm gonna wanna use a pencil, but we shall see. Push it through the brow. Yeah, this is gonna take me 10 years. I'm gonna do a pencil. This is the Too Faced pomade in a pencil. I've really been liking this. So it looks like this. This is in the color Soft Brown. I'm gonna run this through my brows. And now I'm just using the Superfine Brow Detailer from Too Faced just to do the front part and get in any extra sparse areas. I'm now gonna go into the brow wig in the color Taupe. This is gonna make them look extra fluffy and also kind of lighten them up a little bit. Start on the outer part and just push it straight upwards. I really want to use the Jason Wu eye primer. It's just called Wu Prime Eye. Looks like this. Yesterday when I used this, I put like a whole glob onto my finger. I needed the tiniest bits. So I'm gonna like really pay attention right here to see how much comes out. Like that honestly is gonna be good for both eyes. The tiniest bit. That's honestly even too much. I'm going to rub that in and then just set with a little bit of powder. I'm gonna use my favorite Makeup Geek shadows today. This is what I used in the video that I had this look on. So I'm gonna go for a winged out cat fox eye sort of look, but I'm gonna keep it very cool toned, cool to neutral, and smoky, but like natural smoky. I'm gonna start with the color Creme Brulee. This is a very classic shade from Makeup Geek. It's one of my favorites. So I'm gonna start with this fluffy brush. I'm just taking this on the lid. I'm actually bringing it all over the lid and then flicking it outwards like so. I'm also gonna bring this underneath and connect it and just keep kind of like building up that color. I'm gonna start deepening up the look a little bit. This is Latte as usual from Makeup Geek. This is a little bit more cool tone, but I'd say it's pretty neutral. I'm using a Smith 233 brush for this because it has this nice point. So I'm gonna take this along the upper lash line, like so. And then right in the outer corner, I'm gonna start flicking it. And I'm following the line of my lower lash line, not my upper lash line, because if I follow the upper, it's gonna go too high up. And then I'm going to use the same Latte as usual color, but I'm going to be using a Sigma LO6 brush, which is actually a little lip brush, but you can use it for whatever. So I'm going to use it to create eyeliner. This is my favorite brush to do this step. Do the same thing that we just did, but it's just going to go on way more pigmented. It literally looks like we went in with a darker shade because we're using a more precise brush, but it's just the same shade, just more concentrated. And then I'm just blending that out, keeping it close to the lash. With whatever's left over on this random fluffy brush, I'm just kind of like blending all over. And then I'm kind of going up here in the crease, not with any specific dark shade or any of the shades we use. I guess you could use a little bit of Creme Brulee if you didn't have just like a dirty brush sitting around, but this just has some kind of like neutral shade on there. So I'm just using this to bring a little bit into the crease. Whatever's left over on this brush, I'm just bringing it along the lower lash line, not bringing a lot of color down there specifically. It's just whatever's left over to give a little bit of dimension, depth, either one. I'm gonna add a little bit of the color Vintage from Makeup Geek. It's this cool toned plummy shade, one of my favorite colors. So I'm gonna use that same liner brush. This is gonna make it pretty cool toned and add in a little bit of purple. So I'm gonna start here and kind of like line with it. My eyes are so watery today. I think maybe it's because of the candle I have lit. Honey Crisp Apple from Bath & Body Works. And I think it's just like a lot in the air. Brought this kind of like out into the wing a little bit. And with this brush, with whatever's left on it, and buff out those edges. Whatever's left over on this brush, I'm gonna bring this right here on the outer part, connecting to the liner. And slowly kind of carry it in. I'm actually gonna grab a little bit of Vintage because I feel like this is already kind of rubbed off, and just bring that Vintage color right at the lashes. I really want to try this new mascara from Rare Beauty. It's in the color black. This is what the wand looks like. I am gonna go in with false lashes, so I feel like today's a good time to try it and see what it looks like, because if it doesn't turn out good, then I can just cover it up with the lashes. I can tell I have a little bit of leftover mascara from yesterday, so I feel like this isn't gonna really do what it can do. So I can't wait to try this again another day, but so far it's better than other mascaras that I've tried. I'm applying the Chick Lashes from ColourPop. These look so good with this look. They're a little bit more dramatic than the pair that I had on with this look before, but they go with it because it goes a lot thicker, more winged out on the outer corner, and a lot more tapered and thinner there on the inner corner. So I'm gonna apply it to the other side and then apply some mascara on the bottom lashes, and then we can move on to the lips. I'm trying this Rare Beauty mascara on the bottom, and it's just really clumpy. I was gonna go through with my MAC Extended Play mascara, but I think it's okay. I think I combed it out, but it was like straight clumps. So if this ever happens to you, just leave it. It's annoying that it's on my nose contour because that's gonna piss me off if it messes it up. But if you go in and you try to wipe off mascara off your face when it's freshly wet, you're just gonna smear it everywhere and have to fix your makeup there. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then when it's dry all the way, I can just flake it off. I'm gonna use the Vive lip pencils. These are awesome. I was looking back at the video where my makeup was done like this and I knew that this is what I used. I'm gonna use a different lipstick though. I know for sure I used these lip liners. So I'm going to use the color Velvet Sands and Bark. These are them up close. So I'm gonna go in with Velvet Sands first. I'm gonna start down here, connect over here. Cupid's bow. To be honest, I'm kind of like, I mean, I'm still gonna overline my lips, but I've been watching a lot of like 90s movies lately. Just like the thinner lip look. I think because filler has been so popular, so everyone's been doing it, which is cool. It's fine, whatever, do your thing. I mean, I love the look too, but I've just been watching more like, or just seeing more less filled faces, you know what I mean? From like the 90s and the 80s, and I just think it's beautiful. I'm gonna overline my lips with that being said, but if you have thin lips, just know you're beautiful too. As I go and overline my lips to my nose, I'm gonna go into the Bark color and deepen this up. So right here and on these areas, right here. I'm gonna go in with my brush and blend. I'm gonna go in with my nail and just scrape at this mascara. I think we all learned that trick from Tyra Banks on the Tyra show back in the day. At least I did. I guess I should have waited a little bit longer. So I'm just gonna go over that with some powder and hopefully we'll be good. I really want to try this one from Melt. This is in the color Paris Fling. It looks like this. I'm gonna try to just tap it first. It is a lot lighter. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Working Girl, which reminds me of More Creamer Please from Dose of Colors and from the Desi X Katie collection. This reminds me so much of it. So this is Working Girl. I'm gonna bring this in. It reminds me of like butterscotch. And then go back in with my little brush and just make sure everything is all blended. Okay, I'm gonna finish off this look with the Desi Skin Makeup Setting Spray. I love the lashes with the eyeshadow. I think they really, really complement each other. So this is the look up close. I love it. This is definitely something that I pretty much like live in, not just this time of year, just like all the time, because it's just a good everyday kind of look, but it's a little bit smoky while still being soft. It's just like a nice little sexy look. I like it. But yeah, that's it, you guys. That's all for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I got this look. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see from me down below, and I will see you very soon. Bye.